Things continue going from bad to worse for the Cemetery News Network. Just when I think that CNN can't get any worse, they come up with another unique way to prove to Uncle KC that they are a worthy frontrunner, maybe even a favorite, for the upcoming Huge Embarrassing Failure Awards. And if you'd like to vote for CNN and the rest of the woke media for the second annual Huge Embarrassing Failure Awards, link is in the description below. Takes all of 5 seconds for you to cast your vote. You know, when I was younger, my dad used to say all the time, "It's gonna be sad singing and flower bringing." I didn't know it at the time, but my dad was actually a prophet. He was predicting the future of the Cemetery News Network all the way back in the 90s. You know how we used to eulogize media careers for woke welfare collectors at CNN and bury them in the woke cemetery? We have eulogized the media career of the donut diva Brian Stelter. Now, this was before he miraculously rose from his plot in the woke cemetery just to return to irrelevance. We have eulogized the media career of Don Lemon, Rex Chapman, Chris Wallace. Hell, we eulogized the career of Wallace Chrissy when he arrived at CNN. This dude went from the pinnacle of cable news to an entry-level network. Now, he's not even qualified or worthy to work at the entry-level network. His contract came up for renewal, and CNN, they just outright dumped his ass. We used to eulogize the careers of those who were unfortunate enough to work at CNN, but now we're on the precipice of burying the entire network. CNN is currently standing on the brink of existence. They are literally hanging on to a deeply rooted twig, which is the only thing preventing them from descending Brokeback Mountain. Headline at Mediaite: Fox News crushes 2024 in the ratings, while CNN sets all-time low in the key demo. Not only did CNN finish the year in last place in cable news, they also set an all-time record low in the key 25 to 54 demo. But according to CNN, there is no reason to be concerned. There is no reason to panic. No! CNN's not worried about their ratings because they are now calling themselves a multi-platform global leader who excels in audience strength. KC, what the hell is CNN a global leader in? Beats the hell out of me. The only category I see CNN leading is Huge Embarrassing Failure. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to vote in the Huge Embarrassing Failure Awards in the description below. The link is also available in the channel community tab here on YouTube. Headline at CNN.com. CNN wraps 2024 as a multi-platform global leader in news with audience strength across digital, television, and streaming platforms. What? Excuse me? What the hell does that headline even mean? Why does it sound so confusing? Why does it look like the teleprompter for a Cam Harris word salad? When I see a ratings report from Fox News, it usually sounds like this. Fox News continues dominance as the #1 network on cable. That's it. Very simple. That's all they have to say. Fox doesn't have to scour their records, frantically searching for the lone positive in a red sea of negatives. It absolutely amazes me how some of these networks and organizations bust their ass to polish the turd. Take the NBA, for example. Instead of Alice Silver coming out and saying, guys and thems, we are really struggling right now. We have lost half our audience in the last decade. We have put pest control companies out of business because our current product is an insect repellent. I baked a fresh turd and I could not attract a single mosquito within a 1,000-mile radius. I am committed to solving this problem and improving the NBA product. If Adam Silver said something like that, if Alice spoke honestly about the NBA's rating struggles, I would actually have some respect for him. But instead, he wants to lie about it. He wants to pretend like the NBA isn't struggling. It is the same thing at CNN. I read through their press release. I read through their recap of 2024. I understand wanting to accentuate the positives. I get it. But you are insulting my intelligence when you refuse to be honest about the overwhelming negatives. Listen to some of these positives that CNN was bragging about. We have been the #1 digital news brand for the past 9 years. What the hell does that even mean? I have been covering the mainstream media for years now. I have never heard of a media outlet brag about their ranking on the digital news brand charts. CNN ranked #1 in 2024 on Chartbeat's most engaging stories. What? Chartbeat? Chartbeat. I know there's a lot of spanking at CNN, but I always thought they were spanking the wanker. I didn't know they were trying to spank the chart. CNN reaches the most viewers in cable news in both key demos. Yeah, sure. Now, CNN didn't specify what key demos they were talking about. It is entirely possible that CNN ranks #1 with viewers between the ages of 18 and 24 who choose to identify as a mule. I'm sure CNN ranks #1 with viewers between the ages of 25 and 35 who keep a bottle of Just for Men secured in their tuck-friendly bathing suit. But I can tell you with 100% certainty where CNN does not rank #1. In the ratings. They are last place in total viewers. They're last place in prime time. They set an all-time low in the 25 to 54 demo. Not an all-time low for 2024. CNN set an all-time low in the history of the network. And it's not hard to figure out why. There is no need to hire Dick Tracy to investigate and determine why people are not watching CNN. Uncle KC, he can give you the reason in less than 60 seconds. Last month, after Donald Trump won the election, CNN had some doofus named Petey Dominic on as a guest in their primetime dump. KC, who in the hell is Peter Beater? Is he the reason that CNN ranked #1 on the chart beater? Petey is supposedly a stand-up comedian. He used to host a show on satellite radio, but it was canceled without explanation and without recognition. This show was literally canceled, and no one knew about it. No one noticed, and no one asked why it was canceled because no one was listening to even realize that it was canceled. In the 5 years since he was fired from satellite radio, Petey has been performing stand-up comedy. Apparently, he also moonlights as a doofus on one of CNN's primetime dumps. Last month, CNN caught Petey in an emotional state. Initially, I thought he was emotional because he looked in the mirror and realized that he was so unpopular that his hair was running away from him. But on this particular night, Petey was overly emotional because Donald Trump was the new president. Unfortunately, though, for Petey, he was paired with Scott Jennings that night. Scott Jennings is the only toxically masculine male at CNN who has no tolerance for emotional beta males. Watch for yourself.
When Afghanistan happened, he went under 40, she went under 40, and they really lived there until the end of the
Why?
He's still there.
Why?
I'll tell you why. Because he ran and told us that the adults were back in charge. And that was the opposite.
Yeah, they
of
were
that.
because Donald Trump was a child.
And you know what else?
Yeah.
And you know what else?
He's a
the fact that they wouldn't give these 13 service members' families, the time of
bullshit,
day.
dude.
Time of day.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but Donald
wrong.
Trump hates veterans. He called them suckers and losers. He did. He absolutely, despite, he has his whole life. He has his entire life.
I know you're super emotional. I just.
Of course I am. I'm terrified.
I'm telling you.
Oh no! I am so terrified! The Orange Man is the president! What are we going to do? Oh! Oh! I'll tell you what Michelle Obama is going to do. Remember how she was all concerned about Trump being a threat to democracy? Remember how she was so concerned about the economy and inflation? The Michelle of Obama, she is so concerned about the Trumper and his threats, she is begging people to buy her new book. Yesterday, she was all smiles with Jennifer Hudson. I'm sure Michelle was smiling because she knew she would sell more copies than Jamel Hill. But at this point, everyone knows why CNN is struggling besides CNN. Everyone knows why people aren't watching the network. Question is, what is CNN going to do about it? Question is, who is getting fired? Back in the spring, there were reports that CNN would be having a massive layoff after the Trumper ended the political career of cackling Cam Harris. We are 6, almost 7 weeks now past the election. There has not been a single woke welfare collector at CNN whose welfare has expired. Now, in their defense, maybe they are waiting until after the holidays. Maybe they are giving their collectors one last welfare check so they can have a holly jolly last Christmas. Maybe they are allowing them to go into the new year with a resolution to keep their job. But if you're running CNN, that can't happen. We have 2 or 3 years worth of ratings declines that prove this ain't working. Caitlin Collins, Katie Roo! The Roo has been in prime time for the last 18 months, and for 18 months, Roo has been in last place. But her job is safe. CNN is not going to fire the Roo, even though they should. They're actually positioning her to be the face of the network. While that might be a great choice aesthetically, it is a horrible decision if your goal is to draw an audience. But either way, the Roo's job is safe. I think the people who should be worried about their future at CNN, Andy Cooper and Wolf Blitzer. Woof, woof, woof. I used to call Wolf an aging fossil, but that description is no longer accurate because he officially aged. Wolf Blitzer is about to be 77 years old. Got to be the oldest anchor in cable news by a few decades. You can't plan your network's future around Wolf Blitzer for obvious reasons. Andy Cooper, he is no longer relevant. Andy Cooper is no longer mainstream. Sure, Andy is great for hosting CNN's New Year's Eve special every year. I love our New Year's Eve special. I get to fly the balloons and they let me play with the kazoo. Outside of that one night every year, no one gives a shit about Andy Cooper. No one is watching Captain Doofus. If CNN were smart, they would get rid of their entire primetime lineup, but they're not going to do that. They're afraid of being labeled misogynist. They're afraid of being convicted of mythical racism. And that is exactly why CNN will continue to struggle throughout 2025. This is only the beginning. Right now, we are seeing CNN set all-time record lows in key demos. Next year, I think we're going to see CNN set all-time record lows in overall viewership, overall ratings. But give me your thoughts on this. Another record-breaking year for the Cemetery News Network. CNN sets a record low in the key 25 to 54 demo. Now, if my information is correct, there's going to be on-air talents fired very, very soon at CNN. Who is it going to be? Andy Cooper? The Woofer? Jake the Bongo Tapper? I think the bongo tapper is safe, but you tell me. Sound off in the comments below. Best way to contact me is through email, btlkc84@gmail.com. I'll see you guys later.